and welcome to the NC podcast. My name's Natasha Collins and I am the host and founder of NC Real Estate, which includes its members club for landlords and property investors to come and build profitable property portfolios that completely align with their goals. If you want to check me out, head on over to ncrealestate.co.uk for everything that I have available. There's amazing blogs. There are good property investment freebies for those of you who are just starting out, and come and join my online community on Property Investment Mastery. That is in Facebook. That's a Facebook group. And come and say hi on Instagram at Natasha C. Collins. So that's where you can find me. This week, I have to weigh in on a topic that you are probably sick to death of hearing about, but everybody's been asking me about it. Natasha, how is coronavirus going to affect the property market? What can you do as a property investor in these trying times? So, number one, serviced accommodation providers, watch the pricing of your units and keep an eye on bookings. Change the price as is necessary. Number two, if you are looking for a mortgage, make sure you negotiate or get one with a reduced rate. If that's where we're going, you might as well take advantage of it and fix in for as long as you possibly can. Number three, watch if you are selling that the buyer still has access to funds. If the buyer is stringing you along, it might be that you start asking the questions about whether they can actually get the mortgage or not. Number four, let's talk about commercial landlords. Your tenants might have problems if their businesses have to close, or maybe they're not getting as much trade. So maybe consider now what your plan would be so that you could offer tenants a payment plan, for example, if they need it, so that you can help them stay on track. You're still getting the rent in to pay the mortgage and you don't lose tenants, because the hardest thing as a commercial landlord is getting that vacant unit and then having to turn it around for a new commercial tenant. That takes a long time. That could cost you business rates. It could cost you maintenance. So rather than doing that, start thinking now about what the payment plan that you would accept should be. Number five, you could pick up a cheap deal if a buyer has pulled out on a sale. So the seller might want to sell quickly. You could swoop in there and pick that up, take advantage of the situation. 6, HMO landlords, please make sure there is soap and antibac in your communal toilets and kitchens. The same with serviced accommodation. I know that my cleaners have absolutely stepped up the cleaning, although that raises the point as what they were doing before. But maybe it just means that they've got additional antibacteria and they're bleaching everything and really, really doing deep cleans in between every single stay. So keep on top of that. Make sure that there is soap and antibac. I know that there's a lot of stockpiling. I've seen the memes about British people stockpiling toilet roll. My mum had something very strong to say about that earlier, that she thinks it's absolutely ridiculous. But do make sure that you've got enough in your property so that you can keep your tenants washing their hands. Now, there is nothing you can personally do if a tenant of yours catches coronavirus. Don't go over there and see them. Get them to call 111 and the services there will help them out. And finally, don't panic. Please don't panic. Investing is long term, so you're going to have to sit on your hands if you can. Stay healthy, look after yourself in these testing times. Don't put yourself in danger. Wash your hands, as everybody keeps saying. But don't think that this is going to last forever. We're in unknown times. This is an unknown illness. It's not sure how people are going to cope with it long term, how far it's going to spread. It may change with the summer months. Who knows at this moment in time? But if you can hold on in the short term and ride this out and see what's going to happen, number one, it will make you far more resilient for when the market changes over the years, because nothing is ever plain sailing. So things are going to change. And if you can ride the wave and you can put in place emergency procedures or batten down the hatches for a little bit of time, or if you can just sit this out and see what the fallout is from it, you'll be far better placed to deal with these types of situations again in the future, because it is scary dealing with the unknown. That's what investment is all about. There is that element of risk involved, but ultimately we've got to follow what's going on in the market and make really sound decisions using the information that we've got. So whilst there's all this hysteria, all this panic, we cannot make good decisions. Wait for the panic and hysteria to die down and start looking at what the key resolution is and how the markets actually perform over the next 3 to 6 months. And that will give us an indication of what's going to happen going forward. So we have it. That's my take on coronavirus. And yeah, I know the Airbnb thing makes me annoyed, but I think that's heightened because I've not been paid. But all I can do is keep an eye on it. And as the situation progresses, I can change it accordingly, because it's ultimately in my hands as the investor. And so it's my duty to make sure that I'm watching for what's going on and acting appropriately. And I hope this podcast has given you some ideas of what to do. But please let me leave you with a final thought. It's all going to be okay. I promise. It's all going to work out. Just make sure that you act calmly, you look to the future, you keep looking at your investment goals, and you just look at what's going on and start to maneuver things slowly if you need to get to those goals. But don't panic. Don't do anything in a rush. Don't do anything that in 5 years' time you'll look back and regret.